113 Alpha, 113 Alpha 2, 2 overdoses, CAL FIRE on scene, CPR in progress, requesting our response.
Fentanyl overdoses are spiking across Placer County.
Over the last year, that number has been about 55% higher than it has been in previous years. It included a lot of first-timers that were just seeking to experiment, and that proved deadly.
The highly addictive drug is taking the lives of young adults and children under the age of 18. There have been 5 suspected overdoses in just the last few weeks, and more than a dozen fentanyl-related deaths since 2020. One of those deaths was of a 17-year-old Rockland boy who died last December after ingesting what he thought was prescription Percocet. 21-year-old Virgil 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐕𝐈𝐂𝐄, a gang member from Sacramento County, sold the teen counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. Bordner is now facing several charges in the teen's death, including involuntary manslaughter.
And there's just no going back once you're gone. There's no coming back from that.
Judy McCaig lost her 21-year-old son, Ian Walsh, to a fentanyl overdose last August. She says Ian had bought Percocet that turned out to be fentanyl.
I always imagined that an overdose would be quite graphic, but this wasn't. It was just really loud snoring. I was watching my son die.
Fentanyl is up to 100 times more potent than heroin and morphine, and it's far more deadly. Just 2 milligrams can prove to be lethal.
It can be deadly just by touching it.
Considered to be a cheap filler, fentanyl is added to increase the effect of street drugs and increase addiction. It's often mixed in with counterfeit opiates disguised as Xanax, Percocet, and OxyContin. Now, fentanyl is even being added to marijuana and vape pens. Social media platforms, including Snapchat and Instagram, have become hotspots for teens and young adults to unknowingly buy tainted street drugs.
You know, drug dealers and counterfeiters, they'll do anything that they can to lure you in and to get you to buy their product.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's a kid or if it's an adult or if it's your best friend, you're going to make that money.
We've protected John's identity. He's a former drug dealer who sold heroin, meth, and prescription opiates on the streets of Placer County since the age of 12.
They wanted the power and the fame and just the whole gangster persona of being this cool guy that everybody wanted to be around.
With that, John says, came the hunger for making more money. He says that greed has now driven dealers to add fentanyl into street drugs.
If you were to get a pound of something and you were able to cut it, now you got 3 pounds. Now you're making a bunch more money.
John adds most street drugs today are laced with fentanyl, and it's a game of Russian roulette each time you use.
You have an option to either, not do it, or you're going to die. There's no other way around it.
Keeping an open dialogue with your children and getting them to feel comfortable opening up about their issues is the best advice John says he can give to parents today. Judy says while that's a crucial piece of the puzzle, she's urging other parents to be aware of the subtle signs of a fentanyl overdose, what she calls a silent killer.
I saw him at a time when he couldn't speak for himself, and I didn't speak up for him. So we all need to know what this looks like.